What's going on, everyone? Dots here, and today I'm bringing you guys an update on Swords of Legends Online, covering the dates of the upcoming beta test as we now move out of the alpha cycle, as well as some more information that I've learned about Swords of Legends Online that I want to share with you guys today. If you do want to see my first impressions video, though, of Solo, as well as some other informational videos I have on the game, I will leave them linked in the description below. But the first thing that I want to cover is the beta tests. So the beta cycle 1 is going to be running from today, May 21st, until the 25th of May, while beta 2 is going to be running from June 1st until June 8th. And if you guys do want access to the beta, you can pre-order Swords of Legends Online to secure your beta access. But I did learn a lot about Solo since my last video, guys, since that first impressions video, and I wanted to share with you today some of the information that I've learned about the game, with the first thing that I want to cover being something I was heavily asked about, which was PvP, which I actually learned a lot about PvP myself, talking with some people on stream. There were some screenshots that got shared around, so I can show you guys on the screen here what was shared with me in those screenshots. So it looks like there is going to be a bunch of different PvP modes. We're going to have, I think, 10-person battlegrounds with a bunch of different modes. I know Capture the Flag will be one of them. It looks like there's going to be a type of 5-man team BR mode. There's going to be ranked PvP. I believe it's going to be arena. I'm not entirely sure on the number of people. I don't want to say a number and then it be wrong, but I'm not entirely sure, but I know it's going to be a small scale type of arena PvP, and your team's called the Battle Squad, and there are rankings, kind of like the bronze, silver, gold, etc. rankings. It looks like there will also be a battle pass, where as you compete in more types of PvP modes, you'll be able to earn rewards from the battle pass. There's also going to be matchmaking, personal matchmaking, as well. As you can see, some of the buttons on the screenshots show personal matchmaking. And in addition to these instance PvP modes, there's also going to be open world PvP similar to other Eastern MMO games like Black Desert, but there is also a karma system in the game. So if you do get flagged on and someone keeps killing you over and over again, eventually when they lose enough karma, they will be sent to prison, where they have to actually carry stones and mine ore and stuff to basically earn their way out of the prison, which I find to be a very interesting system. And also do keep in mind that the open world PvP is only accessible when you are max level. So as you level up, you do not need to worry about being ganked by higher level players. So PvP looking really cool. Lots of different instance modes. There's going to be ranked PvP, BGs, open world. There's going to be a little bit of something for everyone. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is the performance. Now, I know that one of my biggest criticisms in my first impressions video was the performance of Swords of Legends Online, and as well as some of the textures. Now, apparently that is going to be solved with a porting to Unreal Engine 4. They are working on bringing the game into Unreal Engine 4 from its current engine, and in my opinion, this needs to be a priority. I'm not sure in their content or development pipeline, what level of importance this holds, but for me, I think it should be pretty dang important, simply because the performance is one of the biggest cons of the game right now, at least for me. So I do hope that this gets done sooner rather than later. The next thing that I do want to talk about is dungeon gameplay and information. I'm actually going to show some of the dev stream from Swords of Legends Online, because I didn't get a chance to run a dungeon myself when I streamed, but the dungeons are 5-man dungeons with 3 DPS, 1 tank, and 1 healer. And one thing that I find really cool about Solo is that there's a lot of the stuff that you'd want in terms of add-ons is actually baked into the game. Threat counters, DPS meters, combat stats. Apparently someone also told me that there's DBM type of dealio inside of Swords of Legends Online. So the fact that all this stuff is pretty much baked into the game, I think, is really, really cool. In order to actually queue up for a dungeon, though, you need to walk to the dungeon's entrance, interact with the dungeon. There's a gate there that you can interact with, select your difficulty level, and then bam, you can queue up. And if you do want to, as a solo player, actually experience the dungeon, there is a way for you to do that through a trial mode, where you can basically go in by yourself. I don't believe that trial mode necessarily applies to all of the dungeons, but from what I've been able to tell, a lot of the leveling dungeons do have, that solo or trial mode that you can kind of go in and experience the dungeon for yourself, which I think is pretty interesting. Now, the next thing that I want to cover is gear, enhancement, and upgrading. When I heard that there was enhancement in Swords of Legends Online, I got real scared because I didn't know if it was going to be RNG enhancement similar to other Eastern games, but thankfully it is not. I can tell you guys with full confidence that the gear upgrading system in Swords of Legends Online does not have an RNG chance. When you basically, to upgrade it, you just need to bring it to a blacksmith or like an upgrade station, an enhancement place, and then basically what you do is you just need a certain type of a material, and then bam, you can enhance your gear from to the next rank. But all you need is a certain amount of a material, and then it's a guaranteed chance to actually enhance it. Think of it, if you play Elder Scrolls Online, think of it like improving your piece from epic quality to legendary quality, where you need a certain number of tempers and you have a 100% chance to basically upgrade it. So really glad that there's no RNG enhancement. Also, in terms of gear, guys, there is going to be PvP gear and PvE gear. So if you are a primarily PvP player and you do not want to earn your gear through dungeons, you do not have to. You can earn your gear through actually PvPing. Now, in terms of other upgrades on your gear, there looks like to be these other system called gems and talismans. Basically, it's like other gear, like other improvements and like consumable items that you can kind of like add into your gear that kind of will give it more of a boost. But one of the things that I like about it is, based off of what I'm reading on the tooltips, and you know, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but based on my understanding of the tooltips, is that the talismans and the gems will actually switch what they do based on the spec that you have active. So for example, if I'm a Reaper and have a gem in it, will give me the assassin line of the gem, but if I switch to the occultist, it'll swap over to give me the occultist benefit of the gem, which I think is super interesting, so that I don't have to have like 2 sets of gear with 2 sets of gems, and I really like that. But do keep in mind that one thing I did learn about gear and gems and talismans is that they have certain percentages on them in terms of how effective they are for a specific stat. So something that has a 100% for, you know, assassin, but a 70% for occultist means that it's going to be at 100% effectiveness for assassin, but 70% for occultist. So you're going to be prioritizing and wanting different gear based off of your spec. Also, if you plan on playing both, you're going to want to go for gear that's more beneficial for both. But maybe if you only plan on playing one, you might want to go for a specific set of gear that is tailored specifically for that specialization. Another thing that I want to cover that has improved since I last played on the alpha, like my original alpha first impressions, is that they have improved a lot of the translations and tutorials. They've added in a lot of really good tutorials in certain places. Like, again, I learned about this gem and talisman stuff through just the informational tooltips in the game. I didn't look up a guide. I didn't have to go anywhere. I was like, I wonder how I improve my gear. And there was a thing that says how to improve your gear. And I clicked it, and boom, I was able to actually like read and understand. And the tutorials were really well written. They also have added some more translations to English into more parts of the game, which is always good to see. I still do think that some of the translations do need some work, but I understand that, again, we are still in alpha beta, so this is going to take some time, but I am glad to see that it is actively being worked on. There also is going to be player trading in the game. I do know some games nowadays don't have player trading, but it is good to see that this still exists. There's also a central auction house in the game. You can also inspect other players if you would like to see what gear they are wearing. So overall, I do think Swords of Legends Online is really coming along, but there is one huge con that the game still has for me, and it is that you need more guidance on the main quest, man. I am still actively lost on what I should be doing and where I should be going as I'm questing, and I'm not the only one that has this. I had multiple people come into my stream when I streamed this the last days of the alpha that were like, Dots, I was on my main quest and then I lost it and now I don't know where to go or what to do. And big same, like, honestly, I feel the same way, you know. And I had some people tell me that you needed to level up a certain amount and then you'd be able to hop back onto the main quest line, but that's not indicated anywhere. It's not shown like, okay, you know, now that you've leveled up, now it shows this different icon, you got to go get the main quest, or it doesn't tell you on your sidebar that, okay, you need to level up to X in order to continue on the main quest. Like Elyon does that, which I think is really cool. But they, in my opinion, like, the questing and leveling experience feels really like disjointed and confusing, and they really do need to add some sort of just indicator somewhere that showcases that this is the main quest line. And you know, and if for some reason, like, I don't know if the main quest line is supposed to take you all the way to the end of the game. Maybe it took me to where I needed to be, and at that point it's like, all right, go about your business and do whatever you want. But I think it just needs to be clearer, because at the current moment, the whole like leveling process feels a little bit confusing in terms of what you actually should be doing. And I think a lot of new players are going to find it to be confusing. So that's still one of the biggest things I think needs to be added. But besides that, Swords of Legends Online is coming along really, really nicely. And I think this game really does have a lot of potential. I think as long as they heavily prioritize the Unreal Engine 4 update to not only just update the graphics of the game, but to fix a lot of the game's performance issues, I think this game will do really, really well. But if that, UE4 port does take quite a long time, I do think, the performance of the game might leave a bad taste in some people's mouths when they actually try the game. But if they can really prioritize that and kind of pump that out as soon as possible, this game I think could do really, really well, because so far it's got a little bit of something for everybody. PvP, PvE, exploration, collections. The game's looking really good so far, and I'm excited to see how it continues to progress into the beta cycles and eventually towards launch. But guys, I want to know what you think about Swords of Legends Online. What do you think about some of this new information that I shared today? And will you be trying the beta for yourself? Let me know in that comment section below. And guys, if you do want to keep up to date with Swords of Legends Online, as well as other MMORPGs, first impressions, beginner guides, as well as is it worth playing videos, please hit that sub button as well as hit the bell to keep those notifications on. And if you guys did like the video, of course, be sure to leave a like on it. But I appreciate you all stopping by today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thank you all very much. As always, I'm Dots Gaming, and I'll see you all next time.